Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from LastStandGamers, and welcome. So today we're talking about building rovers, or an APC type rover. Now recently I've been developing this for the drone faction, and I really wanted to just show you it off, as well as kind of tell you some of the common pitfalls that people bump into when building rovers designed for combat. Now first off is most rovers tend to die because of rolling over, and you can account for this in a few different ways. You can expand the wheelbase, make it wider so it's harder to tip over when you're doing them turns, and you can also have the issue of it grounding out in the center if you have your wheels too widely spaced apart. So there are two big factors when you're working on the wheelbase. Now the second thing you'll notice is how fast these wheels actually get damaged. If we take this one for a spin, for instance, over here, we've got the two seats in the back for the crew as well as the cockpit entrance. If we just stealth it in through there, you can see we can drive this around. We've got kind of like a Halo Warthog turning circle with it that I think is very important as well. But most importantly, you can see how the front allows us to dip up and down the terrain without it actually bottoming out or catching. And we can go at quite some speed as well as turning without rolling. So you can see I can give it quite a full turn, and I'm quite successfully keeping all my wheels down on the ground. Now, what happens if the worst case scenario happens and we pop out and some angry man shooting at our wheel with our machine gun? So you can see the wheel becomes damaged, of course, and then the wheel pops off. We're in quite a dilemma here, and a lot of rover developers don't account for this situation. Now first off, you've got to have the resources to rebuild the wheel, and in this case it's simply here. We grind down this wheel, we attach it in that location. So there's a few little things you have to do with this rover, and just to add the extra protection, I've put this mudguard on here. So you grind off this would give you any extra metal components that you're required. Once you've done that, you access the cockpit from above, you activate your pistons. Now these pistons are extremely important because they're basically acting like a portable little jack. They jack the vehicle up like so, and then we just need to find the wheel that is missing. We add the wheel back, we weld it up, and it is as simple as that. We can get this vehicle on the move once again very, very quickly. If we didn't have them jacks, we'd have to maybe pick it up with a ship or weld a piston onto it. So you can see all we need to do is now is reattach our mudguard, and we're good to go. We can get back into the fight, and this is perfect because sometimes you lose a lot of rovers on the way to a natural area to battle because they hit a rock, they get damaged or something else. Now talking about protection is the next thing. If we have a look at the front, I'll show you just how much protection is actually on this bad boy. So number one, it's sloped to that. I feel in Space Engineers adds a little bit more protection from missiles and rockets as it has more armor to penetrate. So you can see we've got ourselves a nice thick firewall in front of our actual cockpit itself. So this will be able to take a missile blast right to the face and keep on trucking. That's really important. We'll actually test that out now for you. So we'll grab this particular one. We'll turn it around like so, place it down. First of all, we'll give it a little bit of machine gun fire. So you can see it's denting, not doing too much damage. So even if a Gatling gun turret was spraying upon this thing, all it's doing is damaging the armor on the outside, and this turret will gun you down. Very effective indeed. Now we need to try a missile turret against it. So we'll just quickly mount up into the missile variant here. We'll grab ourselves a missile turret if we can. Let's find one of them. There, the missile sentry. We can control one. We can aim it at the front. Just fire it there. So you can see it's took a lot of damage, and it's took that much damage that it's actually flipped over the rover. But it should still be functional. That's the important thing. It's damaged that. Is there still a cockpit inside it? Let's check it. Yes, there is. Can we access the cockpit? Yes, we can. So the driver is still intact, even though the missile blast flipped the rover over. Now, this is a situation you'll find yourself in not very often, but once you get into it, it is rather hard to unroll your rover. This is something I've not even planned for. If you roll your rover, your tongue twister, and you are a little bit stuck, the best way of really fixing this is via a gyroscope. So let's just add a gyroscope on and test Aaron's theory out. See, I'm still developing this rover as I'm going along. Like, I've not actually had this situation where it's rolled over, especially from a missile shot. So if I move that gyroscope, can I get it to roll? No, it's too heavy. So I'd need some sort of jack, some sort of piston system integrated into this design to perhaps reflip it over. Let us know if you've got any sort of ideas in the comment section below, or it might just be cheaper to have another rover flip it over with some sort of piston system. So now we've covered that, let's have a look at our weapon systems. So as you can see, with the first variant here, we've got ourselves 2 Gatling guns, 25mm either side, as well as the small sentry turrets on the top. Now yes, these are a modification because they're going on the Colony Wars server, but you can easily replace these out with the stock Gatling guns if you wish. Now, as you're coming around the back, you can see how the heavy armor is protecting the rear of these turrets, and they should be able to engage and take out a target before they're destroyed themselves. I've done a lot of testing. Now, as you can see by them rocket turrets, and the missiles are very effective in blasting your target away, as well as the wide arc that they actually possess. On top, we've also got the 2 little machine guns and a machine gun there, just to deter any infantry from really getting close to it. Now, up here we also have the flak variant. Now, I'm going to have to show you this. This is using the cool tech turrets. So we'll pop ourselves inside here, and it basically just unleashes a whole battery of like shotgun type explosions. So if we shoot it, if we just stick shoot on, you can see how it fires a battery of flak up at a target, and as you're rolling around, that is just what you want. Just keep them away from you, or just really suppress a target while the infantry get a little bit closer. So it should open up with another volley anytime in a second. It has a bit of a long reloading time that I think could be a bit of an issue, but once it does start firing, you can see the little flak field that it's lighting off there. It's going to be extremely dangerous indeed. So let's turn that little Talon flak turret off, and we'll go over to the last variant over here. Just let that roll away into the abyss. So here we have the trailer variant. Now with this final one, what I wanted is a system where I could have some sort of trailer, leave it in a target area to defend that position, maybe pick up another trailer from base, because I thought the APC was a bit expensive, and if I could go with these little trailers, it means I could have more of these little mobile defense systems, and I could set them up where I wanted to. So you can see we've got a little joint here that is fully flexible for the terrain. It allows us to go up and down over slopes, maneuver the trailer around different positions. You see the trailer's wheels aren't powering us, they're just simply being dragged behind us. And say for instance we want to deploy a sneaky Talon AA turret over this mountain here. We've got the off-road capability #1 to get there that a lot of rovers don't have because of the grip and whatnot. So you can see as we're venturing over the terrain, doing some little cheeky jumps, we'll set it up on this little mound here. All we've got to do to set it up is, of course, we integrate our parking brake into that position like so. We enter into the sort of blocks, make sure our HUD is on, and now we need to activate the deploy option. But first we need to detach some of the other functions. So we need to remote control all the rotors into position. So this is something I always do. Make sure everything is locked. If your rotors are not locked, you could have some serious issues later. Then we're going to hit the deploy on the little landing legs, and all this is going to do is just stabilize the thing. So you can see the little legs are popping out. It stabilizes the platform so we can shoot safely. And then once that's done, we activate our most bottom rotor, and we tell it to detach like that. Like so, we have a turret in that position. So this just is modifying our firepower. It's giving us a little bit more firepower from a different position. So if we're going into an attack, we can leave one of these set up. If we need to retreat, we've got it to cover us. And to attach it back up, it is just as simple. We're just going to reverse into position, like any sort of trailer in this. Using the rotors like this is really quite cool. So we just got to line it up perfectly. And we just press P in that position. We find our rotor, and all we have to do is hit attach. Now all them rotors are connected. We unlock the rotors, we go to the deploy option that I should have had somewhere on my HUD. Maybe just refresh it. There we go. And redeploy them landing legs, and we're pretty much good to go. Once again, we can get out of there just as fast as we deployed it. I was thinking of doing some cargo trailers, some other systems as well, but let us know in the comments if you think that would be useful, or it's just overcomplicating the Rover system as it is. Anyway, your feedback on this design is always greatly appreciated. What I could improve, maybe change the wheelbase or design a system to get it to flip back over in case it's rolled. But I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. This will probably be available on the workshop in the upcoming weeks once I've got all the sort of bugs and things tweaked out of it. Anyway, thanks for watching.